Welcome to this GenRocket test data automation demo of distributed self-service. So we want to show you a test data use case. The key thing for requirements is that they boil down to a test case. And test cases need very specific test data. In GenRocket, we call them test data cases. That test data request comes through from the tester through our portal. And you can see here that the request is being put into the system, that new request. And that's going to flow across the system from the tester through a self-service model over to the center of excellence. And that COE, the test data engineer, takes that request and needs to start modeling a new test data project. So they're going to name it bank app. They're going to categorize it by the banking industry in this case. And then once that's done, they have to set up that data model. So we have 14 different ways in GenRocket to model that, but we're going to show XTS, extract table schema. We don't look at the data. We leverage the metadata, the schema, and we very quickly and automatically set up a test data project following through a wizard guided step. Once it's created, we can then categorize it. Of course, businesses have a lot of different business units, which will all need test data, so they can be categorized. Now, in terms of the data model that might have a lot of tables, we have the ability in GenRocket to break those down into logical families. The capability you can see there is G families, helping to have a test data engineer visualize the data they're working with. That's really helpful when they go about designing data for a specific test data case. So here that they're using the G families to quickly and automatically add G cases, and those G cases get created and dropped into a GCase library for synthetically generated data or for subsets of mass data as well, all in the same library of different suites and different category of tests, all organized and packaged up by that test data engineer. And now that we've got them packaged and organized, we can apply, if we want to, different rules that condition and control that particular what data is generated, accurate, controlled, and conditioned data. We can also apply queries, reference data. So synthetic data is very useful and accurate for testing, but sometimes you need a real data value like a member ID or an account number, and we can go query that data and blend it with synthetically generated data. Now that the setup process has been completed by the test data engineer, a notification goes out to the tester saying, hey, we completed the setup work. Please come and take a look at this. Preview the data to make sure it's accurate. There's my positive data set, looks great. Here's my negative data set for the invalid SSN. And here is my negative data set for my invalid birth dates. So now that we know we have the right data, we can map that right into our test case. So in this case, we're showing a functional testing example, step definitions, lots of different ways to integrate. And that data is going to be generated right in the front end to an application, in this case called GenRocket Bank. It's a demo app. And the data is coming in. You can see there it is. In a matter of seconds, the exact data was put in the front end into that application for testing purposes. Here we're showing in the orange box test case number 2 and 3 and doing the negative scenario run right into the front end in, once again, a matter of seconds. So GenRocket can generate just about any data into any testing tool or framework. It doesn't matter whether it's unit or integration or load or performance testing. All that data can be mapped directly into any tool or framework. We're pointing out here that in the traditional data setup, it's actually external to the test case, the test script. Generally, mass production data is copied into a database or a spreadsheet is created, and that's external to the process. And the elegance of GenRocket is being able to have that test data called directly by the test script on demand in real time, exactly when the data is needed for validity as part of the test case. Well, thank you so much for listening to this GenRocket test data automation demo about our distributed self-service in action.